Change in price of oil has gone from 49.86 to 50.66. The Canadian dollar has gone from 0.8201 with very little change to 0.8101. With respect to the number of listings in our fine city and surrounding, we've got Metro Calgary is at 7,235 versus 7,166, which is up 69 listings. In Red Deer, we've gone from 745 up to 745 versus 736, which is up a whole 9 listings. For Calgary months of inventory, we are looking at a balanced market here. We've got a total of 4.87 versus 4.74 for the buyers. For single-family homes, 3.89 versus 3.88, which is, of course, suggesting a balanced market. We've got condos, 6.97 versus 6.78. No real change there. Still continues to be a buyer's market in that aspect as well. And with respect to surrounding areas, for the months on inventory, the absorption rate, we've got Okotoks, 5.51 versus 4.98. We've got Airdrie, 5.24 versus 5.9, a little decrease there. Cochrane, 4.8 versus 5.38. Strathmore, 6.52 versus 7.91. Sundre, 10.6 versus 13.3. Chestermere, 8.29 versus 7.14. Chestermere has gone up a little bit. And in Red Deer, we've got 5.69 versus 5.84. So in most areas, we're seeing a slight decrease versus previous week. And the benchmark price is currently at $442,300. Well, looks like it's remained the same. Tom, I got a question for you. When it comes to people asking you, how's the market? How do you typically respond to that question?
Great question. I just usually tell them that it's terrible and I got to get a part-time job.
Oh boy.
This is something that I love to talk to my mentor group about because it's a tough question. Obviously, it's been on CIR Live in the past. Mm-hmm. And I've thought long and hard about how to answer that question. And I usually have that come back and say, well, great question. Are you asking me about single-family homes or are you asking me about condo market?
Yes.
It usually makes that person kind of stop and think, well, I was just asking a question. But if we can get deeper into that and say, well, single-family homes is a completely different question than looking into the condo market in Calgary. And it's certainly even a different question when you look into, say, Chestermere versus inner city.
Yes.
So I like to dig deeper, find out where they're actually looking. Are they just being polite at a party, or are they serious about maybe finding out what their house is worth, or they want to get into a market?
Yes.
So once I can get into that position, then it's a great time to sort of explore that and try and lock them into some sort of coffee date or meet at the office or whatever they want to do. I think by asking those questions, it really sets you apart and lets people understand that you know your market, you know your business, and you've actually thought about that, and you're actually interested in more honed into what that answer could be.
Yes, calculated answers instead of just the generic brush off.
It's busy. It's spring. It's busy.
Yes. Yeah.
So
give them a little bit more to work with.
Absolutely, it sets you apart, and it shows that you are a true industry professional when you go that further too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And I'm sure you guys discuss that regularly in your mentorship group. It probably comes up once every while.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a great thing to prepare because I think it was last summer, we had a mentor meeting, and an hour later, someone asked me that question. So it can happen that fast. You got to know your answer. Having these market stats is priceless because you can actually speak on the absorption rates, what the markets are doing specifically, and it sets you up.
Yes. Well, and when I think about new realtors and experienced realtors alike, sometimes we have situations where the new realtors don't quite know how to answer that question. I think a good recommendation for the newer realtors would be to go and sit open houses with experienced realtors if you can, just to get into the environment where that question is going to be asked. Yeah. Start practicing how you're going to answer. Get into a market where you can discuss that specific community so you can actually have factual information to give to them. Yeah. And as you warm up, you'll get more experienced and it becomes very natural to deliver the response. And experienced agents that are finding they're not doing a lot of sales, a good way to get back in and feel like you're active again is to do some open houses. so you can get in front of people answering those same questions. Get that confidence up, start speaking realtor lingo once again.
Absolutely.
And it's funny how when you start practicing and you're in the moment, how you start feeling like a professional again, and the results just follow.
Yeah.
Right? So,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
Meet with other experienced realtors, and if you're going to do the open house thing, find agents that are good at it, that you can certainly learn from, because it's
Yes.
worth your time to sit with them. And if that's the angle you want to start taking to get more clients, then it's worth your time to sit with people that you know are actually generating buyer or seller leads from those
Yes.
open houses. Right?
well, there's been times in my own career when I've felt like, I haven't completed a transaction in a couple of months. And
I've never had that problem.
and then suddenly you complete 6. And it's one of those things, hilarious. It's one of those things where you start, not questioning yourself, but you just don't feel like you're working in the industry. And it's totally natural. And the best way to get over that is to get practicing, get talking, get being around realtors and around prospective clients.
Yeah.
So,
That's it.
we'll take a look at what's